Somebody come get 'em, they're too old for TikTok.
Hello, and welcome to Too Old for TikTok. It's a very exciting week in the TikTok world. We have a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, Catalina, tell us how you're doing.
I'm gonna lie and say I'm doing well.
Okay, great. We love a lie. As we know, everyone is very unwell, so it's okay to be unwell.
Yes, I would say on a personal level, I'm more or less fine. On a systemic level, I'm not well at
The
all.
world is extremely unwell.
There's
yes.
just a lot of horrors happening that we're just
Yes.
existing through. And frankly, as a university professor, I have to deal on the front lines with a lot of these things. So yeah, I would say unwell, but happy to be here.
Well, your skin looks great.
That's
I know
true.
you tried the viral TikTok face mask. It's like the Korean one that it stays on your skin for a very long time.
Yes.
How long did you keep it on for?
I had it on for 3 hours today, and then so I didn't purchase this. It was given to me by a friend who's has a hoarding problem, and she
By the way, not me.
she hoards
'Cause I
differently
don't.
than you.
Okay.
She hoards specifically skincare, nail care, tea, and honey. And so she just bought a house and was moving and was like, I have a lot of face masks that I just am not going to bring to this house. Do you want them? And I said, of course I want them. So she gave me a plastic shopping bag filled with face masks, a body lotion that I haven't even cracked into yet, some hair serums. I mean, one person's overconsumption is another person's treasure. And so I went through and she was like, do you want one of these glass masks that are the ones you're supposed to sleep in? And I said, of course, but I'm not sleeping in that. So I tried it today because on the package it says 3 to 4 hours. And then I went to TikTok.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, why do people sleep in it then if it says 3 to 4 hours?
It says minimum 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, okay. So
So-
everything I saw on TikTok, people were sleeping and waking up and giving a
but
review.
frankly, at the 3 hour mark, it was almost fully absorbed into my skin. So I think that
Okay.
I think it's one of the few times that you probably have a 3 to 4 hour chunk of time that you can be wearing a piece of shit on your face. That's the problem. So the sleeping is because I was working from home. I didn't have any Zoom meetings. And so I was just I'm just going to put this on my face for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But then I was watching a bunch of TikToks, and yeah, one of them I watched from a dermatologist that was the reason you glow the way that you do after using it is because there's this gel basically, but it's a cool effect. And so I would figure if you had an event or something and you wanted to be glowing for the event, why not?
Yeah, your skin looks radiant today, so
Radiant.
it worked.
Radiant. And I did put sunscreen on over it afterwards, and the glow continued. So
Wonderful. I did see a review that said the glow lasted a few days, which is great.
well, maybe that person didn't wash their face.
Oh, could be.
I don't
Could
know.
be.
I'm not a dermatologist. I think it's just very hydrating. But also, I'm grossed out by the people who wear them on airplanes. I just feel I've seen some things about how that's not actually sanitary to wear a face mask on an airplane.
I wouldn't do it either.
And you're just going to creep people out. I'm going to pull out my red light mask on an airplane next time.
That would scare me if someone did that. I genuinely think that they were having a psychotic break.
I wore it in the car once.
That's pretty psychopath
I wasn't driving.
behavior.
I wasn't
Okay,
driving.
thank God.
That would
Wow.
be dangerous.
That would be dangerous. Well,
Enough about me.
Let's get to the TikTok. We did mention that the world is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a shitstorm. And I do have to shout out our very supportive listener, Karen, who had a tough week because of all the
Karen.
tariffs.
I've been thinking about
And-
Karen.
She said the podcast has helped her, forget about some of the worries of the world. She was asking if we were going to talk about this next thing, which has blown up on TikTok. I think it's blown up because of the timing too. It's really great escapism and it's so well done. It's the group chat, and the video series is by a creator called that girl Sidjo, and her name is Sydney Joseph. And I'm going to just play the explainer video by another user. His name is #JRup.
Episode 4 of the group chat just came out 23 minutes ago. It's genius. I've been teaching high school English for almost 20 years. I have read and taught the classics. I know it. But the group chat? Gatsby? I'm working on getting a class approved called Greatest Hits, and one of the elements of that is that we look at what makes things popular, and it includes viral hits, and I swear to God, the group chat, see on the syllabus. If you're not familiar with the plot of the series, it's created by Sydney Jo, and the idea is that it's a group chat played out in live action, and she plays every single one of the characters. Haley wants to invite her boyfriend Justin because he had a really rough day. This starts out relatively lighthearted, but over the course of these 4 episodes, this has become like art. I'm not going to spoil episode 4 because, again, it's like a half an hour old. But the trajectory that this thing's going on, it's about to turn into some kind of epic, and there's no way that she could have predicted this. If there was ever an account that is deserving of 1 million followers, it's her. And I love the fact that the comments section is full of like blue-checked, extremely famous people who are just waiting for the newest episode to drop. Ugh.
So he did a good job of explaining what it is and also explaining why it's so viral. She basically has the whole internet waiting for more and more of this series. And the last part that just dropped was spectacular. So many twists, so many turns.
She also did a trailer for it.
Yes.
And there's a lot of famous people in her comments. Like Charlie Puth was one of the original famous people. Leslie Jones was another one of the famous people.
And a lot of brands are commenting as well. And a lot of people in the comments said that the male voice that's in episode 4 is Charlie Puth's voice, which I don't know if that's accurate, but maybe not. But it's really fun to see what the brands and the celebs comment. Speaking of celebs interacting with it, we have one Stassi Schroeder who was talking about it. She basically says who she is of the group chat.
I am so obsessed with group chat right now. Like 3-part series or thing, just like go watch it. Go watch these 3 TikToks. They're absolutely hysterical. I just want to provide my thoughts that no one asked for. First of all, I don't have a group chat. Like maybe I'm in some, but like I'll never respond. I never respond. I'll like pop in there every 4 months. But like a girls group chat, like it's so complicated. First of all, like the people who like leave group chats when they don't get their way, you should be shot out to space and never let back in. I'm just saying. Anyway, toughen up. But when I've watched this whole entire thing, I'm like, oh my God, I am Emily. Like, and if this were Vanderpump Rules, like if this were back on Vanderpump Rules, like Maddie's Katie. I should have texted Katie before I did this TikTok and been like, you agree that you're Maddie, right? Or do you think that you're Emily? But like, I think I'm Emily. At least right now, as a 36-year-old, if I'm in here, I'm actually gonna respond with the facts and being like, actually, we don't care if your boyfriend had a hard day because like we've all been having hard days, and like when you add a boyfriend, it changes the dynamic, and like that's just facts, and we don't have that much time to be able to like spend together. And so the fact that we have this like one time to like go to dinner together tonight, like you don't get to just like interrupt that by adding your like loser boyfriend. Yeah, no, I'm Emily. This is just like, this is so good. It's so brilliant. Also, I don't want to be Emily, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be one of the girlies who's just, like, sitting in her bed and letting everyone do the work for her. Like, I want to be that. But then how do you get shit done? You just got to say a prayer and hope an Emily or a Maddie steps in, you know? And, like, that's just, like, no way to live. You got to be proactive. Anyway, can't wait to see what happens next. I can't believe I won't tell you. You got to finish them all.
So she's the direct one. Who do you think you would be?
Well, I just wouldn't have a person like this as a friend.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't think a friend would ask to bring a boy and then have a boyfriend who's that awful, and like, spoiler alert, in episode 4, the boy is cheating on her.
But who knows? There could be so many twists and turns coming at us. Yet. We don't know.
Right, but we know what we know. So I agree, we wouldn't. This is very Vanderpumpy, so that's why Stassi is the perfect person to comment on it.
I don't even think it's very Vanderpumpy because I thought the whole critique that this was about was primarily like couples who cannot detach from one another. I think
But
being
it's
married
also-
now, I'd bring Ivan a lot more places than I probably would have brought him when we were like, but I would always preface it, and then if someone said no, I would not bring
But
him.
Ivan is a welcome addition. And I think that's wrong. I think if you had a girls' night and it was all, maybe you would bring Ivan.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's like
That's
if we had a
true.
girls' night in New York that Ivan and I were in town, like, and we don't live there. I think it's also like there's so many caveats. Wow, I'm really making myself out to be am I Haley?
You are, maybe.
Like, Ivan had a bad week. No.
Yeah, okay, so we've established that you're Haley.
I guess I'm Haley.
I'm definitely someone who's just sitting back and watching the drama unfold and making an occasional comment.
Okay, I don't actually think I'm Haley because Haley sucks balls. And I think that there's like a way of like, I don't think I would ever, if I had a group of friends, like, there's so many caveats in this scenario. Like, I would have to have a close group of gal pals that I'm having like girls' night catch ups with that are like single gendered.
Yeah, and I think it's more so
In Columbus,
if you're
Ohio.
if you have a group of city friends when you're in your 20s.
Yes,
and
I think
most
it's
are
also-
single. Exactly. Like, I think the age difference is
Or
there.
not even. I think the point of it also is that like we're not all single. Why do you? Why are you a girl who like is attached at the hip with your boyfriend?
Yeah. And speaking of Haley, some people are saying that the names are Haley because of Hailey Bieber.
And Justin.
Right, Haley and Justin are the names. There's a video by Problematic Housewife News.
Not Hailey Bieber in the comments of the group chat series saying, I'm locked in. Somebody's in the comments was like, girl, aren't you in the play? And I just think it's funny as hell because the names are Haley and Justin. If you're not watching the group chat series, you need to be.
So it's hilarious that Hailey Bieber is in the comments, and whether or not she realizes this could be sort of about her, because right now, Justin, I don't know if you've been seeing, but Justin Bieber is posting a lot of very weird shit on Instagram, and a lot of people are saying it's because of Selena's engagement to Benny Blanco. Have you been seeing that?
No, but I did just learn that Benny Blanco doesn't take airplanes from our
and
group chat the other day.
I taught you that. Okay, so I went down to Selena and Benny rabbit hole because I listened to them on a podcast, and I learned that, yeah, Benny has a phobia of airplanes. He's only taken like a handful in his life, and when he travels all the time, so when he goes to Europe, he takes an 8-day boat ride to Europe, which I think is crazy for a couple that travels. Like, how's that going to work? And also, the other thing I'm worried about for their marriage is that Selena always travels around with a space heater, and she likes every room to be extremely hot. And I imagine Benny's a Jewish man. And like, you know, I'm thinking of Ben. He's a very hot sleeper. We sweat. The Jews sweat. I can't imagine how the temperature will work for them. So I'm concerned. But they do seem kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe if she keeps her space heater on one side of the room and it doesn't affect
He has a
him.
fan
'Cause
on it?
Space
Yeah,
heaters
I don't
are
know.
very like
They're targeted.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the logistics of not just transatlantic travel, but also if you
New
go
York to
somewhere,
LA.
Yeah, like what is he doing? Taking a bus? Like
He's
we don't have
driving.
high speed trains here.
He's driving, which is so crazy.
Oh my god, I want to run into Benny Blanco at like a rest stop in Arkansas.
At a Bucky's, what is it? Bucky's, which I still never been. I gotta go to a
Boosie's.
Buc-ee's. Is it Boosie's?
No, it's Bucky's.
All right.
But it could be
all
like a
right.
bussy, you know, like a, you know.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I think the Hailey Bieber part is very funny. It just adds another dimension to
I
the
think
group
it's
chat.
a way of going viral because Haley and Justin are names that are going to have like existing hashtags.
So smart. SEO. Get that SEO
Right?
working for you.
Right. She
Yeah.
used those names to her advantage.
Totally. Okay, and one of my favorite parts about this most recent episode is now that the group chat has made it to the restaurant, everyone's posting their other perspectives. So there's one by the Sydney Noir, and it's the nosy couple at the group chat steakhouse.
Noir.
Okay, is that not how I should have said noir?
Noir.
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 Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Anyway, I love this video. I think it's so funny.
And so I'm saying all that just to say, happy 1 year anniversary, baby. I love you so much. I love you too, Pookie. I love how beautiful you are, how smart and talented and funny you are. Hell, I even love your ashy ass feet. Hey now, all them feet be ashy. My feet ain't that ashy, okay? Cheers to 1 year, baby. Hello? Something going on over there. Ooh, don't turn around like that. Let me okay. What's going on? Fill me in. What is going on? It looked like the friend confronting her friend boyfriend. The man here with her friend? No. The friend is confronting the friend's boyfriend. The friend confronting her friend. Okay. Well, then where's the girlfriend? Oh, she just walked in. Oh, shit. Not the girlfriend that showed up. She just walked in. Okay. Switch seats with me. Come on. I need to come. I am not switching seats with you. No. No. Because you don't know how to tell T right. No. She said she ain't booked a reservation, but the friend rolled her eye. You know who would do some shit like this? Miranda would definitely bring the friend group to the restaurant and spy on that man. I don't like her for real. I told you that. Man, switch seats. Come on. No, I'm not switching seats with you. You just supposed to shit, cause I can't read lists backwards. Come on, bruh. Ooh, shit. Did she just who the girl in the black dress? I know, I see her too. Did she just say babe? Oh, I have got to tell the group chat about this one. They ain't gonna believe this. Ooh.
And then there's another one by the baddest Mitch, and it's the group chat steakhouse hostess.
Hi, welcome to the group chat steakhouse. How are you? Haley? Okay, party of 11. Okay, let me grab you some menus and you can follow me. Okay, you ready? Come on. Is he okay? Oh, he's having a bad day? Okay, come on. Welcome to the group chat steakhouse. Do you have a reservation? Your friend's already here? Who is the name? Haley? Oh, okay, I just walked her and the guy this way. Yeah, the guy. You didn't know he was gonna be here? She made the reservation weeks ago and then y'all canceled it. She said she wasn't coming and she made a reservation here. She made this weeks ago too. I'm looking in the system. Why didn't y'all just say he couldn't come? Oh, y'all was scared? Y'all scared of Haley? Oh, she did it anyway. Why she can't leave him home? What's she scared of? He got an ex he's still in love with. Her name's Selena. Hey y'all. She told me, this is crazy. Do y'all want your own table? I can get y'all your own table. Y'all ain't gotta sit with Haley and Justin. No. Y'all should say something though. Y'all should say, yeah, say something. Follow me, come on. Y'all want a shot? It's the least I can do. Girl, while I'm at work and these white girls came in here raising him. Girl, she invited her man. And you know I'm an instigate.
Yeah, I think I saw one that was a Justin. So
Justin perspective?
Yeah, Justin.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't see that one.
So people are really trying to get in on... They're trying to ride the wave, right? They're trying to get into the... It kind of reminds me of in the early days of TikTok. Do you remember Rosa?
Yes.
And then the Cheeto girl, Marlene Dizzle. And now they're like...
musical. Everyone added their
very
own
different,
thing
but yeah,
too.
where like
But
everyone's like dialoguing with one another,
yeah.
and then they become like collaborators in the future. But the Rosa and I don't remember what Marlene is. I think she calls herself. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know what her username was. I think it was just like Marlene Dizzle at the time, but she did ones where she was like eating hot Cheetos and responding to Rosa, who had the eye. You know who Rosa was with the eyelash.
I think I do.
It was like crazy makeup.
Yes.
Adam Ray OK is the creator.
Yes,
yeah.
I do remember. Okay, well, I'm excited to see where this group chat content goes, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sydney, she gets like major deals. I'm thinking every talent agency, everyone is going after her now. She also hit over 1 million followers. She's at like 1.2 now. Very reminiscent of Jake Shane.
That's what I was going to say. It's very Octopus Lover 8 coded. However, I don't know, because Jake Shane, come to find out, was like already sort of like in the LA communities, being friends with Sophia Richie.
Yeah.
I wonder, because this girl, when I went to her profile initially, she did have a following already. Like, she already was doing comedy.
And she had very viral videos. She had a viral video of her singing Hadestown. She has an amazing voice too. I'm like, triple threat. She's so talented.
Well, that's what they say. All these, I think it was the Eli Rallo girl we always talk about.
Yes.
All of these people are musical theater nerds. Like, everyone on TikTok is a musical theater nerd.
And they're using TikTok and doing what they know.
Yeah, they're acting and singing, and they're entertaining us.
Great.
Thank you.
They don't need to be on Broadway. You just got to get on TikTok, and I mean, it's amazing. So thanks, TikTok.
What do they call Broadway again? Like the Lights Road,
the White Way,
that,
the Great White Way.
That, yeah.
What did you say? The Lights Road. The Great White Way. Come on.
Why is it the Great White Way? Because of all the lights. So
yeah, because
the Lights Road. Yeah. I was getting there.
Okay. Shall we move on to our For You pages?
Tell me what's on your FYP.
Well, there's a lot about the stock market and tariffs, but I enjoyed this. I mean, it's a comedy video. Let's say it's comedy. It's by Wild Child Andrea.
Girl Math is ignoring the tariffs and traveling to those countries and buying stuff and then bringing it back instead of paying the 50% upcharge.
It gives a little levity to the situation. I ha-ha'd.
You ha-ha'd? You lolled?
I lolled.
You
yeah,
ruffle-coptered?
I liked it. I didn't ruffle. I wasn't rolling. I lolled.
Lol. In terms of tariffs and girl math, the other day, a friend who shall not be named, but you'll be able to guess immediately,
can't wait,
was encouraging me to like immediately purchase things for my new home because of the way that prices are going to quickly inflate. Because I was talking about needing to buy a new couch. Mm-hmm. And I was like, my guy, I need to close on this house. I'm not trying to like rack up all my new furniture on my credit card before closing this house. That would be foolish. So
correct.
We
you
just
gotta close first.
We just need to
sit tight,
live through this moment.
We gotta live through a lot of moments that are happening. There was another video I saw. It was a song, like, we've seen this again. I can't remember the song, but the caption was every millennial and remembering 2008. Like, we've been through, 2008 recession. Now there's this bullshit. So we're living through it.
I do think about Karen, though, because as a supply chain worker, she's on the front lines of actually understanding things, like understanding how the tariffs affect even like products that you would assume or would think of as being US made products. I saw a really good video that was very long, but it was, I guess, this shoe brand, and she was the comedy video about like where it was running through basically like it was mimicking the way that you apply for small business loans with the US government.
I saw that. It was such a good video.
Really well done.
It basically explained all the pitfalls of why putting tariffs are a terrible idea when the government's answer is, oh, we'll just build manufacturing companies here.
Right, like there's no safeties in place. And
right, there's no there's no American workers who have the skills yet to also work in those manufacturing plants that don't exist yet either. So
you can't yell at people for something. You can't preemptively.
Right.
I mean, you can, as we're seeing, but
we're seeing, yes.
We're going to see how ineffective it is to preemptively punish people in order to incentivize a type of industry that there are no systems in place for.
Exactly.
What you're essentially striving for is autarky, which is when you are internally, you can isolate from other nations because you are internally self-sufficient. But what ends up happening in a lot of these scenarios is the laws are put in place, but the internal systems are inexistent. So everyone's just punished.
Everyone's fucked.
Right.
Yeah, I saw, the last thing I'll say about this is I saw another video of a business owner who has a jewelry business, and she said, all my employees are local. Everything is made in the U.S. However, there are certain stones she can't get only from India, and all the equipment she uses to cut the stones, like you can only make that in India and only get that in India. So she's being punished. Like, so she is like a made in the U.S. company, but her company's still gonna really take a hit, even though
Right.
she
I mean,
is
there's
technically a U.S. company.
Yeah.
So I'm glad people are going to TikTok to explain it. I think we're on the side of TikTok where we're seeing like, you know, the reality, but I do wonder what conservatives are seeing on TikTok about the tariffs, because they've obviously bought into that this is still good, even though the stock market took a hit. So I would be interested to see the other side of TikTok, but I'm not going to go there because it scares me.
Well, I've been seeing some reaction videos actually today of people saying, like, reacting to people saying he's playing chess, not checkers. And they're like, this is the man who told people to, like, drink bleach.
Right, exactly. Like, he's not smart. This is all done out of stupidity.
Another one was like economists having the same reaction that like all of us have been having for years and years and years.
Yeah,
it's really special, but it is interesting to see these like isolationist tendencies are a hallmark of authoritarian regimes, but they're also a hallmark frequently of like left-wing politics, and being pro or being against dependency on other nations is something that happens across the like ideological spectrum. It's the way that this is being imposed is just like so batshit insane.
Yeah.
Also, did you see that like all these news outlets are reporting that the equation that they used is exactly what is generated by ChatGPT and other
I did
AIs.
see that. Yeah, exactly.
My only question about that, though, since these are like language learning models, is that because it already exists and so that's being fed into the AI, or is that actually did they come up with like geopolitical policy with ChatGPT, which I would believe.
I would believe that, yeah. Wondering as well if that's true, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I think that in the beginning, ChatGPT only had data up until like 2 years prior to when it was being used. But at this point, I don't know if it's real-time updates or not in terms of like how it scrubs for information.
We'll need to get a tech expert or an AI expert on the pod.
Yeah, let's not bore the people. Instead,
let's move
on to your next video.
My next video is a complete right turn, if you will. It is...
Wait, I think it is a right turn, Dina. I think we've messed it up so many times that now we're back to the original.
No. I think the right saying is left turn, but we always say right turn because it's an inside joke.
Oh, okay. I heard someone use it correctly the other day and it really threw me off.
Okay, let me look that up.
A hard left turn.
Left!
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, we just looked it up and it is left. So I was obviously joking when I said right, but I was
stupid.
right in no way. Okay. Moving on. So we have a video by Padma Lakshmi, and she's talking about the VIP list girls.
Hi, everybody. I don't have a lot of time to be on TikTok, but there was this really annoying video that was brought to my attention, and I try not to get involved in these little things, but I can't help but respond or at least comment. There are these two women that go around critiquing restaurants, and they recently went to Sema, which is a South Indian restaurant here in New York, and they say things like they've lost faith in the Michelin guide, and I'm pretty sure Michelin doesn't give a shit about you either, or what you think about anything, let alone food. And just a tip, before you go off slagging other cuisines, maybe you should understand them a little bit more, or at least, I don't know, learn how to pronounce the dishes you're actually critiquing. I got news for you. There's no tiki anything in Indian cuisine, not in North or South Indian cuisine. So I don't know what you're talking about. And by the way, Sema isn't made for you. It's not. It's made for us. And I'm pretty sure that if nobody but Desi's went there for the rest of its existence, it would still be booked solid for the next decade. So, maybe you do go to that place you love, the Biryani Cart, Bri Itni. Just, I don't know, you guys seem like nice girls. I can only judge you by how you judge, so I just think you should do a little bit more research before you go deciding about what you're going to slag off, okay? Just a tip.
So there's a Michelin restaurant in New York called Sema.
Have you been?
Is that where I went with Sam once? Hold on.
It looks really good. I spent a lot of time looking into this.
No, I haven't been to Sema. I do want to go, but maybe when you're in New York, we can go.
Well, we have to go to Tracy Anderson and exercise in a hot, silent room.
We should go to Sema, eat this food, and then go to Tracy Anderson and see how
I
we
will
feel.
vomit. We should go to Tracy Anderson in a hot, not from food, from eating and then going into a hot room.
Yes.
We need to exercise, then eat at Sema. But okay.
Yes. I've seen a lot of other videos bashing the VIP list girls for their disrespect of the culture, mispronouncing all the words. They also doubled down.
That was what was crazy to me.
That was what's wild.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they kept being like, oh, so I have to pronounce French words right? And it's like, I'm sorry, like the French are European, and French cuisine has been held up as like the standard of culinary excellence for what, a century? Like, I'm sorry, but like you're not getting it here.
I'm just thinking about our conversation from last week about the French word boulet or boule. So we
It's
also
boule.
don't know how to, it's boule. Okay, sorry, I mispronounced it, but I will apologize and say
But
I
also,
mispronounced
they are
it.
not systemically oppressed historically. Like,
French
sorry,
people, yeah.
guys. Like, this is the lack of understanding that we
Yeah, for
have
sure.
here, where it's not just mispronouncing, it's also understanding the way that, like, Indian cuisine has been treated in the cultural zeitgeist for decades, particularly in Western spaces. So this is whatever. They're not going to understand. But I was reading through their comments and I was like, holy shit, these girls are like really going hard. Like, you're what?
The crazy thing is it's giving them so much more press because Padma posted about it and all these people are posted about it. So I actually think they like that because they're very much rage bait.
Yeah.
That's their whole thing. So I think they get what they're doing, but it doesn't make it right. It's still wrong.
No, they're just doubling down on being dicks. But like,
Yeah.
Did we expect the VIP list girlies to be particularly culturally sensitive or
No.
understanding of how to treat others?
Okay.
If they're saying, cry about it.
True. Go cry about it. Catalina, what's been on your For You page? Speaking of food, it's a good transition to your videos, actually.
Well, okay, there is a trend. I know the genesis of this trend. I don't know who originated it, but it's where a worker at like a bar or a restaurant will say the names, and it's frequently in Italian, so maybe it started in Italy, where they'll say the names of different cocktails. They'll be like Negroni, Spagliato, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, they point to themselves and say their name. Mm-hmm. And these Italian grandmas did a version of it that was with like different types of focaccia, I think. The users are Forno Santa Caterina. Oh my God, why am I like, I don't know how to speak Italian. I just pulled out some random accent out of nowhere.
I was going to say, wow.
Wow,
I was
okay.
sort of impressed, but like, who knows if that was correct.
No, that was not real. Forno
Oh my God,
Santa,
we're going to cancel because of the way you pronounce
because I oppressed the
Bolognese.
Italian. Oh,
No,
yeah.
remember? We've already been canceled for
Yeah, and then we know that
Bolognese.
Italian. I'm sorry for not saying it the way that you or British people are supposed to say it.
Okay, this is
Ugh,
triggering. for
anyway,
Catalina.
I'm triggered. Okay. Forno Santa Caterina posted a video of like different focaccias, really cute. And then they had this other video where they were clearly, it was a parody of this other user named the Donut Daddy. They are doing a juxtaposition where they're parodying a video that this guy made, and they're making focaccia. But in watching the video that they're parodying, it's really funny, but it's like sex content where the guy's like this like built gentleman who looks like he does cosplay for like the ACOTAR series, and he's like spanking the flour bag and like sticking his face in the dough like in a way that you would assume is like a sex thing. Like, it's all like very sexual.
It reminds me of the guy who chops wood in like a very sexual way.
This is way more explicit.
But this is more explicit because when dealing with the food, like he'll have a banana and it'll be like towards his waist, so it'll be like his penis, but then he starts chopping up the banana. Yeah, this was weird. This is never great.
Wait, also, does he chop up the banana? Because that would be not sexy. That would be like cutting your dick off.
No, but he's also actually making food.
No,
though.
he also seems like a really good cook, which is
Yeah,
like the best
so he
part of
needs
all
to
of
chop
this.
up the banana to make the food.
Okay,
whatever
so
he's making.
everything he's doing is like really sexually explicit in such a way that like the food is meant to represent probably like the body that he's fucking, whatever. It's so gross. The women are so funny just juxtaposed with him. But then I went and I looked at more videos of him and I was watching them for so long and I was like, this is such interesting like sex content that makes it onto TikTok, because I knew that some of those weird cooking videos that we've talked about before where I was like they're filmed in a way that's like reminiscent of porn. They're like fetish videos. Yeah. And it's like a woman doing like weird food stuff and it's always something gross. But the way that that's a those are like DL fetish videos. This is like zooming in on a wet vegetable in a way that you're like, it's a vagina.
Right, exactly. They're definitely representing a body part.
And the comments are like, some are just like, what the fuck is this? It kind of reminds me of the type of shit that I see on Instagram that they turn the comments off because people just like go to town on Instagram Reels. But the comments, like some people are into it.
Yeah, I imagine that's why he probably has a huge following. And the name, the Donut Daddy, I mean, what do you expect? Like, that's really telling of the type of content he's putting out.
This reminds me a little bit of when I was a teenager. I was at the beach and I was reading Cosmopolitan or one of those magazines, and it was like sex tips. And one of the sex tips was a girl saying that she liked to put a donut on her partner's phallus and eat it off. And I was like, that's nasty.
You can't say penis.
I don't know. I just wanted to like
offend you.
Very okay. You the way that you talked about the sexy banana was like opposite of.
Okay, so that's very special.
Like, could you imagine like a glazed donut? Ew.
I can't. No.
But some people are into that.
Some people are into food stuff. I'm not one of them, so I cannot imagine. There was the fruit roll-up trend.
Oh,
never tried
disgusting.
That.
Never tried that. Never considered. I mean, I like fruit roll-ups.
Yeah, but not on the penis. How many times should I say penis on this
Call
podcast?
me prude, but I don't want that.
Okay.
Moving right along, but staying in the area of food, there is an audio trend that I've seen multiple versions of, but the most common version is dancing according to how much you like the fast food restaurant.
So this video is by Thai.funnyfunny, and she's dancing to this audio.
Taco Bell.
Burger King.
McDonald's.
Chili's.
Wendy's.
Domino's.
Subway.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Pizza Hut.
Chili's. Or Chipotle.
So the audio comes from, I think, a game show that Rob Lowe hosts, where people basically spit out topics, or like there's pictures and people have to name the most amount.
Oh, it's like categories.
Yeah, exactly. I think the show is called The Floor, and I think the only reason why I watched it was on after the Super Bowl. But I'm pretty sure that that's where all these audios of people saying things about a certain topic are coming from. Moving on to keep in line with more food stuff, we have crispy rice is everywhere. So you've tried to make it, or not tried, you did.
Yeah.
Ashley, friend of the pod, has made it. I have not, and I probably won't. It seems very difficult.
It's actually not difficult even in the slightest. In fact, I think you could definitely handle this. The video that inspired me to make it was by Cook with Odds. I really like, she had an air fryer, and I knew from a friend of mine who's a chef that in order to air fry things, you don't actually need an air fryer. An air fryer is just like a countertop convection oven. So if you have a convection oven setting on your oven or on your microwave, you can air fry things. I don't have either of those things, so I just cooked it normally, the salmon part of this dish.
Thanks for educating us on that, Catalina.
You're welcome. I don't know, like, I don't like buying single-use appliances.
Okay.
Anyway, so... But something interesting that I saw in the comments of this video is someone said these crispy rices that are trending are inspired in a Laotian dish called nam khao. And then I was looking at nam khao, and I actually think I've had a version of this because it's like Laotian, but it's also just like popular in northeastern Thailand as well. At Ugly Baby, I had a rice dish there. I can't remember if the rice was crispy, but it seemed to be similar to this where it's like rice and then it's like mixed up with like Chinese sausage and stuff like that. But now I want to look up some recipes of the traditional crispy rice and try to make that, because all you really do for this is bake rice to make it hard, and then you mix it up with a bunch of shit. So that's why it's not hard to do.
Okay, that's why that sounds easy. But I think, you know, a main ingredient of all of these recipes I'm seeing is cilantro. So I would just have to cut that out.
Don't use cilantro.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
the recipe that I saw, someone in the comments was like, I really don't like the way you're mixing on a plate. Like, people need to get a life. Just get a life.
True.
Why did you sit down and write that? Just don't. But the feedback I have for this video is, and I think they did it just for, you know, the fact that it was meant to be like their meal, even though it was like a huge dish, but they put avocado on, and I was like, I think this is the type of meal that would prep pretty well, but I would not like to pre-mix avocado into something because then it's just gonna look nasty after
and
like
then it
30
gets
minutes.
Mushy and brown. Yeah. Agree with that.
That's my note. But yeah,
That's great.
and now I
Okay,
really need to find some nam khao, like real nam khao, and try it.
Well, report back and let us move on to our last section, our content creator spotlight. We haven't done this in a while, but she is very worthy. Her name is Kristen Rutsin, and she does a series called How Long Does It Actually Take? And every video, she takes something she's been procrastinating a year or two, and she sits down and does it, and then tells us in the end how long it actually took. This video is about a dentist appointment.
Welcome to another segment of How Long Does It Actually Take?, where I see how long it actually takes me to do something that I've been procrastinating. Today, I'm going to be making a dentist appointment. I have been procrastinating making a dentist appointment for 3 years. As a result, I have not gone to the dentist in 3 years. I would not recommend this. Also, if more dentists could allow their patients to make their appointments online, that would be great. Let's see how long it actually takes. Okay. I don't like calling people on the phone. Hi, I would like to make an appointment. CHR, a new patient. It's Kaiser Permanente. My phone number is, Monday, April 14th. Perfect. Okay. Oh, text would just be fine. Thank you. Bye-bye. Did it. The total time it took me to make this dentist appointment that I've been procrastinating for 3 years took me 9 minutes. Thank you for watching. How long does it actually take?
I like all the comments were like, 9 minutes is actually a really long time to be on the phone to make an appointment, which is true, I think. But the videos, I think, they're inspirational, you know? It's like the things you procrastinate actually don't take a lot of time. Just like fucking do them. But easier said than done.
One procrastination strategy that I have, particularly with grading, but you can do it for all different types of things in your life.
When you said grading, I was thinking of like a cheese grater, but then I remembered you're a professor.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all know this, but grading is just as painful, if not more, for professors than actually doing the assignment for students.
I'm sure. I believe that.
Especially if it's an assignment that like has no variety, and then you just have to like look at the same shit over and over, whatever.
Terrible.
What I'll do, and this is like one of these like life hack strategies that people do, is you set a timer for 10 minutes and then you do whatever you can for 10 minutes and you'll note and like just focus on the task at hand. So like, let's say you don't want to wash the dishes in your sink, set a timer for 10 minutes. You'll probably be done with it after 10 minutes. But I also do this with grading because it'll take me like 10 minutes to grade one essay that if I were left to my own devices would take me an hour because I would like read one sentence and then do something else.
Look at your phone.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, totally. All right. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you, Catalina. And we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.